116th Hotline.
It's Sadie.
It's Valerie.
And this is Satana.
And welcome to another episode of our podcast, 116th Hotline.
Hello.
If you're new here, welcome. We are a trio of sisters, and we created this podcast out of our little spare time that we have, just because it's something we enjoy doing, and we want others to hopefully enjoy listening to us. And if you're an avid and consistent listener, welcome back. Thank you so much for your consistent support and your feedback, and it means a lot to us.
And our goal with this podcast is to create a safe space for anyone to unpack their mind and, you know, release some
tensions,
or just like some demons per se.
Yeah. Or if you just want to listen to something,
or just a safe space to unpack any type of luggage that you may have, some type of baggage.
Or if you're just nosy and you want to know what we've been talking about, that's fine
for
too.
real. Like if you're like, oh gosh, I keep seeing them post about this podcast, tap in.
Let's see what this podcast is about. Yeah.
And not even being biased or anything, but fortunately, a lot of our episodes and topics have been very relatable to a lot of listeners.
Yes.
So relevant, and so I hope that continues to
be the case.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was just thinking the other day that isn't it so crazy that because whenever I get a new patient at work, right, and it's a Hmong patient, and they're always like, oh, do you know this person? Do you know this person? And I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't know them, but I mean, they're like,
you mean like
another Hmong person.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say like your Mika coworkers.
No, yeah. Whenever there's a Hmong patient, all of my coworkers always ask me about it, and then I always have to tell them. They're like, well, how do you know? I'm like, there's only 18 Hmong last names, you know.
Go ye say.
Go ye say.
You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know.
Anyways, so
and in English that means 18 clans, which is 18 last names.
We are the 18 clan family.
Bro, the word clan just sounds so like
old school
dynasty.
I love it though. It sounds so like cool.
Yeah.
Clan.
Yeah.
Oh,
what clan
are you?
How about the Ku Klux Klan?
Oh, that's not a good one. That's not a good one.
Hey, fortunately, that's not the first thing that popped into my head. Clan.
Good for you.
No,
I'm like,
if that was the first thing that popped in your head, I'd be concerned.
I'm thinking about clan as in like I'm thinking of natives, like clans.
Like
I'm thinking of like in the jungle,
the Indian clans,
type,
like the native clans, like the what are the other clans that are native? It's like a 1/4 Cherokee, a quarter
the tribes,
Choctaw.
Is that what?
Okay. Tribes, yeah.
Tribes and clans, and you think about Avatar.
I'm thinking about Avatar. I think about jungle. I think about like
Neferi. Okay, bitch, that's fucked up.
No, that's the Avatar.
Yeah, it's from Avatar, bro. Neferi, yeah.
Neferi. Anyway, okay, so anyways, back to what I was saying, and then I'm always like, yeah, because there's only 18 last names, you know, blah 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 blah, and they're like, what? And they like just can't wrap their mind around that concept that there's only 18. Around that there's only 18 Hmong last names, and that got me thinking. If I was a person of, you know, the same color as them, I'd be thinking too, like 18 last names, like the fuck, because we be getting patients with some weird ass last names,
and it's like, how do you even keep track? I think because like
you have like Peterson, you have Jackson, you have Johnson,
like
you have
Western last
you
names.
have a bunch of weird last names.
Yes.
And then I'm just thinking like, man, that is so true. Like there are like trillions and trillions of last names out there, and in the Hmong community there's only 18, and I feel like that like puts us in such a small circle,
almost limited.
Limited, which brings me to another topic about like, you know, the most famous thing to talk about with same last name. Infamous about same last names.
I would
Taboo.
say
Oh, that's I thought we were all gonna.
Okay. One, two, three.
Taboo. And you all know what that means in the Hmong community.
If you don't, let's unpack that.
Oh, Longo.
Well, you gotta say it in English. I mean, like, not everybody.
Sorry. Okay.
So taboo is a definition of two
of the same last names being in a romantic relationship.
Can I just throw a little comment out there that before when I was a kid and hearing the word taboo, the only definition in my mind was the same last name dating the same last name people dating each other, which in the Hmong community, and I never knew it was even like a an English word,
English definition.
I never knew either. And then the first time I saw it have an English definition was actually the board game Taboo.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And then that's
yes,
when I was like, huh?
So
That's
if you didn't know, now you know. In the Hmong community, we
Taboo
use the word
means-
taboo, which means, I mean, if you do hear it, that's referring to two people that date each other with the same last names.
even
So-
though they may or may not have
Be related.
any relations,
Yes.
any blood relations, marriage relations. It does not matter as long as you have the same last name as somebody else. It is a big no in the Hmong community
To do
to
that.
be in a romantic relationship with that person.
It's a, like you said, it's a no.
It's a no. It's a taboo.
It's
It is
literally
a taboo.
taboo.
It is a
Literally,
taboo.
it's
Yeah.
it's a taboo. That's the taboo. That it is a taboo.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
what it means in the Hmong community, which everybody knows. Back in the days, the infamous, our great famous rapper,
I
don't even have to say it, but
You should know at this
He who
point.
shall not be
He
named.
who shall not be named that was a big
Topic
ordeal.
or whatever, right?
It was a big thing. Even after they had broken up, it was like even
Still.
now till this day, people like reference it, like, oh, you're gonna pull a,
they use their names
Yeah,
as a
think-
taboo.
I think, and how do you guys feel about that? Just like people in general within the Hmong community that do that. Do you think? I mean, for me, I think just growing up knowing that you're not supposed to do that, I think I follow by that rule, but I know that people strongly, I know that there's I don't know if you guys know this, Valerie and Sadie, but there literally is a community of people who taboo, and they, yes,
A community.
and they,
Like a support group.
yes, like they, no, I'm serious. It's
Okay,
it's a
okay.
literal thing where it's like they literally taboo with the same last name, and they like support. It's kind of like you said, a support group,
But
where they shed light on the fact that taboo is just something that is within the culture that is talked negatively about, but then it's kind of like you said, a support group for other people who taboo.
my
See-
question
okay, go first.
My question is, okay, it's a support group for people like that, but are these people that are like they are intentionally going out there to look for the same last name to date, or they just so happen to fall
be
in
in that
love with
instance,
to be in
yeah.
that instance with somebody as the same last name, and then they are trying to make it not a taboo,
Normalized, yeah.
normalize it,
I think it's more of that
Okay, I hope so.
because I forgot where I saw it on Facebook, but I stumbled upon a support group for it. I don't know how, I don't
Didn't
know
know
where,
that.
but it was basically
Good for you.
yeah, this girl I found, she had a long blog post about it on Facebook. She had posted something about how same last name is just something that we talk so negatively about, but then look at her and her husband and their children, like they're just thriving, and just kind of like putting it out there that, hey, we are the same last name, but we still have a family and we're doing great, and like there's all
Yes.
this bad talk, but it's not as bad as people say.
Well, it really is.
I think that's just more of like a hearsay type of thing that rooted from I don't know when, but that people just think like
known.
it's like a a big no. It's looked down upon, which is like in the Hmong community case, it's hard. Like, I guess it's not hard to not do it, but it's just because you're so limited. There are only 17 other chances,
Yeah.
out there, and it's like if you think about it, and if you really bring it back to like bloodline, like probably 8 out of 10, like you're not really even related.
So-
there's not a drop of blood that's related. It's just
Right.
you just so happen to have the same last name.
So I was just wondering. I was thinking back to then. I'm like, what's the legitimate reason why taboo
Even exists?
What even exists? And I was
know.
and
I
it's
think like
because,
incest,
right?
Yeah.
And however, like Val said, like maybe it's been passed on generations. Like maybe you're not even related to them like that much.
Yeah.
It's like from like what is it called?
Like from marriage or from bloodline.
Well,
Right.
okay, I want to look at that the other way, because it's like we talk about it, which is so hypocritical of
Yes,
us as a community, because we talk about how we shouldn't taboo this and that, and especially our elders, they say like you shouldn't taboo, but then yet if they have relatives from overseas that it's literally like your aunt or
As long as
something,
it-
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that is so
Well,
true.
like, that's what
The same
I was
last
gonna bring
name,
that
then
up
they're
too.
like, oh, it's absolutely fine.
or
You know what I mean?
or if it's something like, okay, from your mom's side, and then you're like,
Yes.
oh, just because they're from your mom's side, now it's super close though, but just because they have a
Different last
name,
you
it's
guys can
okay.
marry. But
Yeah.
then when you think about it, they're
That's
probably
even
more
closer in relation.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
like
say
that's
that.
like your literal cousin.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that because I know, like, back then, and like not even like that far back then, like people will intentionally let their kids get married, like on the sister's side.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's a different last name because it's different husbands, you know.
And we Hmong people are basically like Chinese people, where they take the last name. It's like the same dynasty or the same, like we were saying earlier, like the same clan. Like the husband carries the name
of
so
the family.
the women are a separate last name, like they
Yeah.
come from a separate clan.
So my kids could marry my brother's kids because they're different last names, you know.
Yeah.
But see, it's so weird because that was and is normalized.
Still to this day.
That's normalized.
Yes.
That because they want to keep the daughters close to the family,
Yes,
so then they make them marry within the
gross.
family. Which, if you think about it,
that's
That's kind of gross, bro.
that's literally same bloodline,
Yeah.
first
Same,
cousin,
like cousins,
first
yep.
cousin. But then if it's like that, it's fine because it's
Yeah.
different last name.
Yeah.
But if you get somebody with the same last name, even though you guys are
no
on
idea who the
totally
parents are.
opposite
Yes.
ends of the states, have never met each other, have never seen each
Have
other,
any
don't know
connections
each
with their
other,
parents or
Yeah.
it's a no as long as it's the same last name.
You know, that's funny because one time I was telling Leslie about shout out to Leslie again.
Leslie.
Love
Hey,
you.
Leslie.
I'm just a lot of reference, but we had a conversation about that, and I was telling her that yeah, if we had the same last name, if like I'm a Lee, if I were to date somebody as a Lee, it would be like a taboo. It would be not good. And she's like, well, why? I'm like, I don't know, just because of something like it make us possibility of incest. You know, the kids are gonna be blah blah blah. And she goes, I'm like, do you guys have something like that? Because she's Hispanic, and she said, you know what? No, I think we do. I think it's something because like I'm a Perez, so if I were to marry or date someone as a Perez as well, it would be weird. She mentioned that, but then I think it's
Really?
just her though, because I also know other Hispanics that they have their spouse. They have the exact same last name, you know. So I'm like, it's interesting to see like different cultures, you know?
yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, outside of that, like, do other people
See,
do they
I
have the same-
haven't heard
Probably
anything
not.
about that for like for Caucasians. You know, I haven't.
They
Not
probably
that-
don't. I mean, like you have
Well,
like
and if you think about it, there's infinite.
Johnson marrying Johnson.
That's
like,
true.
McDonald marrying McDonald.
lot of-
but
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it matters as much. I think for us, we're just very.
I think for
Because we're
them,
so-
it matters more of bloodline.
Yeah.
Versus like it's opposite from us.
like
you know?
versus just last name.
versus
Yeah.
just last
That's
name.
which
true.
in the
Bloodline.
Western world, it's like
That's
it's considered
bad.
incest if
Yes.
it's like a bloodline.
Bloodline,
Yes.
But if it's
Yes.
the same last name, it doesn't matter. Which I don't know. For me, I'm just like, personally, as like a Hmong girl, I don't think I would, like, if I was still single, I don't think I would ever go for the same last name, just because
I wouldn't either. Just because for me it feels weird.
yeah, because I think just growing up, like,
and no,
It's
Being,
rooted and drilled into my
right,
head.
like,
yeah.
don't ever do
Yeah.
that. And then for the people that do it, I say if it works for you, like,
Go
go
for
for
it.
it.
Go for- if you're happy,
Like,
if you're truly
you
happy
know,
and doing it for you, by all means, baby.
And people will talk either way, so whatever.
Yes.
But personal preference, just like me, I would not do it. But if it's working for you, like, just like any relationship, like, go for it and just make sure that you guys are in it like 100% with each other.
Yes,
Because at the end of the
because you
day-
guys are gonna have to go through a bunch
Judgment,
of
like,
judgment and shit
people will
talking.
say a lot of
They
shit,
will shame you,
especially if you're tabooing. Like,
You will get cut out of circles. Maybe you might even get disowned.
but you know what? Like, I'm curious to see the support group and see what they talk about, just to
Yeah.
see, because I feel like in a sense, because they are so looked down upon already for doing that, they've got to be some strong,
Like, they
people,
have to
strong-minded
persevere.
people, persevere
Yeah,
a lot of
persevere
that.
through all
And
that
I
bullshit.
that's why I was like, wow, I'm curious to see how it is,
Yeah.
and I respect you, like, for standing up for what you
What you
want.
believe
yes,
in,
like
what you love.
standing up for your love. Like,
Yeah.
I love that for y'all,
because for me, it's just like, how different is it than, like, you know, say like a biracial relationship?
exactly, like that's technically some kind of taboo too,
in the
our
Hmong
Hmong
community.
Yes, yes.
Girl, growing up with that, yeah, it was. I can tell you all of that.
I think it's just like us growing up knowing that is something that you're not supposed to do.
yeah,
And then
going against it.
going against it. Like I said, it's just like the biracial relationship, right?
Yes.
But I think in a way it's because the same last name. That's the thing that gets us, right? Because we're
Yes.
like, ooh, like we could be related.
Like automatically, if you're Hmong anywhere, and you
Like, you cringe.
yeah,
Like,
you think
you're
about the
like,
word taboo.
ugh,
Like you're
like,
like, yeah, you can't do
yeah,
that.
like
That's
But in
what you think about last
reality-
name. Taboo, last name.
Last,
Yeah,
yep.
automatically it goes to like
That's like the
same
first
last
thing.
name.
Yeah.
But in reality, like you said, like in that support group, maybe those people, like, I would like to hear their point of view. You know, now here's the thing. if you were to really actually date within your family with the same last name, then that's really
Like
gross.
that's a
In my
different.
opinion,
That's like legit incest. Like that's
Legit.
when it comes to like Western incest.
That
like,
is
Yes.
like incest. That is like Stockholm syndrome. Like especially if you're the older person and you preyed on the younger person. Like that's just a whole different scenario and
And then-
situation.
And in that case, since Val, you're a nurse, like you probably know a little bit more about that too, right? Like if they were to have kids, they wouldn't it affect their kids, right? Because the same bloodline or whatever.
I know
like
that
DNA,
like
I don't know.
I know that you can tell from their DNA if they're made from the same blood. Like
I know-
So
there's a
weird.
certain
Like, I
there's
know-
a certain marker.
Like I know for incest, like I was watching this documentary and this
so creepy.
this family like incested within themselves, and you could see they really do have physical abnormalities.
Yes.
Physical, yeah.
Like you could literally see like
Hills have
like
eyes.
they're blind in one eye,
Literally, hills have
or
eyes.
you know they
Yeah.
like they're missing a hand. Like it's crazy how much
It's
it
because their
physically
DNAs are like
manifests.
too
to alike.
similar.
Yeah.
So when it
Kinda,
tries
like,
to
cancels
form,
out.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I forgot what documentary it is, but it was crazy to see like how it was like, I don't know, I want to say like 3 generations of
God.
incest within the family. It was crazy.
So it can really affect like the,
like physical, like it really
So
manifests
scary.
physically, like how much different they look.
that's just so, I don't know. In my opinion, that's so weird to me. Like to actually
See it physically
Yeah.
manifest. It was when I was watching the documentary. I was like, I can't believe that it actually. It's something that
Like,
you
it's
talk
something you
about.
can
I
see.
feel like
Yeah, but
it's-
then like, you could see it
Yeah.
physically, like how
The results.
I feel
of
like
Yeah.
it's almost like malicious to do that because you're bringing
Yeah.
up kids that are, I don't know, that's
going to
just
have
weird.
a deformity.
Yeah.
that's just like a whole
You're creating
nother.
That's
I
a
don't
whole
know.
different thing.
For some people,
Form
and
of-
and like for families that do that, like I don't know, like probably people that are still have the mindset of back in the day
Maybe
that
like in the
olden
day
times,
are very
older time.
deserted from like civilization.
Yes.
They probably do that, but it's like maybe that's all they know.
Yeah,
And
but
maybe-
I feel like it's 2023. Like
I don't know, girls. Some people are still stuck in that.
mindset. Ew,
Mindset.
that's so. So I'm curious to see if you also have any like taboo in
Taboos.
your culture or growing up. Like what's considered a taboo? You know, like
Ooh,
yeah.
let's talk about
Speaking
what
of-
we think
Okay,
is
okay,
our top taboos.
Oh, God,
and
oh,
our
God.
personal
Now, let me
opinions
think, let
in
me
the
think.
Hmong community.
Mary- oh, in the Hmong
For
community?
me,
Okay.
For me, I think personally,
Personally.
I think same last names is a big taboo.
You can't use that. That's our main
That's the main
one.
thing.
Okay, fine. Other
Besides
main
that,
taboo.
besides
Okay,
that.
okay. Other besides that, for me personally, a big taboo is big age gaps. Big age gaps.
Valid.
Another taboo.
Wait, one only.
Oh,
One per person.
okay, fine. Oh, don't mind to be big.
Can I
age
say
gaps.
mine?
Okay,
Yeah,
say
go.
yours.
Mine is my taboo that I think is within the Hmong community is marrying someone who is a divorcee. That is
Oh, that's a big taboo.
Wait, for you?
No, like that's what she thinks is like a big
Like
taboo
for
in the Hmong
people in
community.
general, marrying someone who's been divorced, like Valerie. Like if someone was to marry her
You're saying that that's a taboo for
for our Hmong community,
okay.
yeah.
That's like one of taboo that she is calling out of the Hmong community.
call
Right.
That it's a taboo to marry.
for yourself.
No,
Oh,
like
okay.
that's like what's
Like it's a
looked down
taboo
upon.
to marry a
Like,
divorced
that's
person.
a big. That's good.
That is a big one.
Bondo.
Like that's what they call you.
That is what they call me.
You
Don't get it
know?
twisted. It's Valby.
And that is a
such
huge one.
that's
Whether
a
it
good
be a
one.
man or a woman, anyone who's
Yeah.
been
Divorced.
married
Divorced.
and divorced, like as long as they are divorcee, oh man, that is a big taboo.
It has become more normalized now, though. Like people don't really look down on it as much anymore. But yes, it's still.
But I mean,
very,
that label it follows you, and that's the taboo. That label, I guess.
Not
That's
me
it.
though.
Okay, girls. What about you guys?
Okay. I think for me, a taboo would probably have to be having to get forced married if you have a kid together.
Oh, that is a good one.
in the Hmong community.
In the Hmong
Yes.
community, having
that is a
it's like,
good one.
Oof. If you're pregnant, married.
Automatically.
I don't care how old you are.
Oh,
you
they do not
you don't have a
care.
choice for abortion.
Out.
You're getting married. Don't matter.
That's
That's
your life partner
a
now.
really good one.
because of a mistake.
Yeah.
Poor kids.
You can't even have the abortion. They don't believe in that shit.
Don't have sex unless you're ready.
You know the abortion you can have?
Protection. Okay, stop.
Okay, Sadie, what about you?
I don't know. Y'all have used some really good ones already.
Valerie thought outside of the box.
I didn't think about these things. I mean, I was like one is a taboo that needs to be called out, right? Because I thought originally y'all were saying that what you think is a taboo.
Yeah,
that is a
within the
taboo.
Hmong community.
I know,
We
but-
think that's a taboo. That's the taboo that I'm thinking
the
about
taboo
in
is
the
like-
Hmong community.
Like something that's looked down upon, just like marrying the same last name.
Okay.
What is looked down upon?
I guess the biracial thing. Let me go ahead and use that because that's
Oh,
me.
yeah,
there you
sis,
go.
come on.
Yes,
She coming to
come on.
play. She coming to play.
Wait, this sounds kind of personal now.
With this one.
Okay. Me personally, this is a personal one.
Me personally,
Well, okay, let me
look
just-
out for those stickers
Let me
coming
just
soon.
speak.
Me
Let me just
personally.
speak for all of the girlies or like
guys,
Say it
girls
first.
and guys and gays.
in the Hmongs in the Hmong community.
Ooh,
Gays
gays is a good one.
Gays is a good one.
Okay. Yes.
Gays,
Yes.
lesbian,
That's also
bisexuals.
Anyone
all
who
of
has
gays,
different sexual
hers,
orientations.
him. That's
that
a
is
good
a
one.
huge one.
Okay, wait. Let's circle it back to.
Yeah, circle back and then we can unpack it.
Okay.
Okay, so the biracial
Biracial.
one, definitely, because I'm growing up. I mean, I don't even know if it's necessarily a racist thing. I mean, who knows? Maybe
It
is.
No, girl, we know what it is.
Call it what it is.
Call it what it
It
is.
They want us to keep in the Hmong community, you know. So it's really looked down upon if you go and date outside of race. Yes, like so, just dating out of race is looked. It's very
looked down upon.
Looked down upon.
Unfortunately, just because
Yes.
like Hmong people in the Hmong community, they really want you. And you know, honestly, like you said, now that I'm thinking about it, it's very hypocritical.
I feel
Yes.
like it's that for
it's
most
so-
most other races too.
Like they
Like, they want you to keep it
inside the
in.
race.
And I've actually had people like Hispanic friends that told me the same thing with their culture as well.
Yeah.
They also want
Yeah.
to keep it within their race or whatever. And I mean, this goes back to like histories, and we all know this.
Yeah.
So in other cultures, it's just a little bit more extreme, whereas compared to
yeah.
the other. And unfortunately, our culture it is one, but fortunately. People like me who are rebels who decide to just keep going for what they want. Today, I made it to where it's normalized now. Like
Yes.
fortunately, and I mean, it's we have work to do still, but then I mean, it's become more accepting
Yes.
and more normalized, and I'm happy for that.
There's
because-
more Asian babies. There's more Blasian babies. There's
Blasian
more-
babies.
There's a lot
Hispanic
more
mix.
Hispanic. Yeah, Hispanics and
mix, white
Asians.
mix.
Janae Aiko.
whatever.
Yes. No,
Oh my
really.
God, they're also pretty.
Drake is biracial.
I'm telling
Oh,
you.
God.
So that's definitely one.
21.
And like I'm saying, like all of these things that we're listing that are considered taboo in our community, I feel like some of you at home that are watching
Could probably
can
relate.
relate. You're
Yeah,
like,
even
oh,
though
wait
you're
for
not
us
Hmong.
too,
In
you
your
know?
in your own community too.
Because
Like
I know that's what it's like for Gabby. Her parents are always telling her, to bring home a black man because she's
Exactly,
black,
vice versa,
and it's
yeah.
like she told me like even if they don't say it, it's kind of like an unsaid
rule.
thing.
Yeah.
like bring him a black man,
Yes.
because she would only date because her last guy that she dated, he was Puerto Rican, and it's like an unsaid thing.
I think
But
just
in the Hmong
very
community,
cultural thing,
it's
like, I don't
said.
know, like,
Yes.
yeah, it's. I mean, at the end of the day, it really comes from like the roots, where you just like really want to keep that. And I get it, like like
You want to keep your bloodline of
Bloodline
Hmong
yes,
going,
within the culture, but
times have changed.
And then circling back to like the gays and anyone who has a different sexual orientation.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that too,
Yes, let's
because
unpack that
LGBTQ plus, because
yes.
that is, I feel like a long time coming even for our community, but
I'm an ally.
still looked down upon. And
Yes.
for me, it's just like, why? And a lot of it is education. Not a lot of the older generation is educated about these
They don't know.
different sexual orientations, and they think
Education.
that
And I
one
think
way is the way and that is it.
Yeah, and
That's
I
all we
feel
wanna
like they
know.
think that it's a switch. Like one day you just woke up and decided, okay,
I
I'm gay.
remember-
Or like they're like, oh, these things influenced me to be gay. Like,
Yes.
no,
Influence,
if you
yeah.
really think about it, like you've known since a
Yeah,
young age
yeah.
what you are and what you aren't attracted to, and I think it's your social surroundings and your upbringings that have formed you to push whatever you're feeling is away. Yes,
That's like the, what's it called? Nature versus nurture.
nurture, yeah, what
Yes.
you're nurtured around. Because there's this one guy, he's a famous bodybuilder on YouTube, really, really famous bodybuilder, married with like some kids, and he finally just came out of the closet that he is
Who?
transgender. I forgot what it was, but he has like a
Do I know?
big. You probably
Platform?
do, but he's like a known so well for his bodybuilding videos, and he finally came out that he wants to be transgender, and so he actually like is transitioning, got boob surgery, and like he's getting like all the surgeries done, and like he's like slowly losing all his big muscles because he was a big guy with a beard and everything, and he's like this is not something that just happened overnight. He's like, this is just something I knew that I've been, but I've just pushed it away because when in my day and age, this was not a thing. Like, it was not a normal thing to feel this way. So he just pushed it away and did the normal things, got married and all that stuff. And luckily, his wife is like so supportive. They do mani and petties together. Like, they do all this stuff, and his kids are understanding and supportive. But that just goes to show that, like, really, like the nature versus nurture thing, like you cannot hide what you really are like feel deep down inside. And I feel so bad for those who are part of that community because it's really like you have to hide behind something, and like you can't be your true self, which is so sad. I could not imagine me being myself like this normally. Yeah, I feel like it'd be so scary living like not even being able to live life as who you are, because all the judgment that you will get, you know, and it's like I can't imagine me trying to live my life right now as me, who I am,
and getting judged. Like 100%.
Like I can't even be my true self without someone shaming me, so I have to pretend to be someone else I'm not. No, babes, I cannot. I can't even put on a fake face whenever I got that RBF on all the time. Like I think it's just so sad, but I am genuinely so proud of those people that I do know that have had the courage to come out. And I am proud of those that, you know, have not found the strength to come out yet too, because it takes a lot of strength and courage, and, you know, take your time in your own time. That is your power to hold.
There's so much judgment around that too.
Yes.
And like people just automatically assume like, oh, no one in my family is LGBTQ plus, but it's like, you don't even know.
You really don't even know.
You don't even know.
You
just can assume, but
there might be somebody
that really
you know,
close to you, but
but like you never know. They may still be closeted and they don't want to come out because
they're not ready,
or they know that they're not going to be accepted, so they just live a pretend life, which I can't even imagine having to live a pretend life like that.
And like you said, with the whole like, you know, like they didn't choose to be like that, you know. It's not a choice, bro.
It's not like a switch that one day they're like, okay, you know, I'm gonna be this way now, I'm gonna be this way. No, they've known from a certain point of time in their life, they've known exactly what they like, what they're attracted to, and they just, the nurture around them, the social norms around them had to mold them into a specific way, because that's how they are
them
seen,
to be a certain way
based off of the gender on their birth certificate. They needed to be in a certain bubble.
Going back to the taboo, I just also thought of another taboo, like which I feel like happens very frequently in our community, is
so more than ever now,
old men and old women, so both ways, that marry young boys and young girls from overseas. And it's so normalized that that's like another huge taboo that I feel like
that really is.
It's something that
it happens
all
a lot.
know, like we all know that it goes on.
It's like a thing.
No one ever talks. I mean, like, I know that some people do talk about it, but it's not like, it's something that we need to talk about more.
Not only is it bad like on that end, but like on the end of the like on the overseas, on the motherland,
like their
side.
family,
like that's a normal thing over there too, where they're like, yes, they're at a fresh age,
so they can get a
14,
they want a visa, girl.
They want the visa, they want the US dollars,
and to the point where they're willing to give up their babies to an old man.
They didn't even hit puberty yet, like for real,
like that comes
even for the young boys,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Young boys and
their balls didn't even drop.
Their childhood has been robbed, and their parents are allowing that to happen. And what's that? What did you say? Enabling.
Everybody enables.
And the thing is,
from both sides.
The thing is, like in the Hmong community, like this, everybody knows that this happens. Like this is just a thing. Like
it's not something like that's hush. Which I think, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that other cultures have similar issues.
Similar,
like I don't know for sure, but I think somewhere in Africa that like not Haitian, but like another African like culture, like they do that too. Because I seen it on TikTok where this girl, she was like talking about her dad like going back to the motherland, and like
I think there is a documentary on it, like a whole documentary about, and it's called Young Brides.
It's not just our culture. I know that there are other cultures that do the same thing, where they're like going back to the motherland for like months at a time.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And it's like, you know what they're doing. They're frolicking.
Yeah, we know what you're going over there for.
Frolicking. They're not doing
You're going
nothing
over
like,
there to dip it in a little bit of paint that paint even mature.
And I think it's I think it is Nigerian too. I don't even know this because from Love Is Blind, where in their culture it's normalized to have multiple wives. Multiple wives, and that's like. And in our culture,
I guess our culture is like that too. It depends on the family.
Not as much anymore. But then, I feel like.
Because there are some families that like they really push for.
They push for it. Yeah. And I mean, fortunately, it's not as like a good thing, you know, in our community. But then at the same time, it is normalized. Like if it were to happen, then they're like, that's normal. Like whatever.
Yeah, like they wouldn't make a big deal out of it.
I feel like it's more like whenever they do have it, it's like they look up to you, like, okay, so you got 2 wives,
so you a boss.
The flex.
Flex. That's what it is. It's a flex.
It's like, oh, you got y'all, yes, like
I don't know, and it's always rubbed me the wrong way. But then I mean, I know people nowadays that are like, you know, multiple
like they
wives.
can do that,
and they have like successful.
What they call it in English? Polygamy. Right?
Yes.
In English, polygamy.
Yes. So it's just kind of like, I mean, to each their own. If it works out and your families you guys have a good relationship with each other, and your kids have more siblings, whatever.
Except for if you're married to a young
bride or young husband.
Now
you need to leave.
That is a no.
You're crossing the line for that.
I'm gonna call the cops on you, like for real.
Honestly,
that's the one.
You are literally. You need to be on Netflix documentary for pedophilia.
Pedophilia.
Yeah, let's call it what it is. Pedophilia. Like, let's stop enabling. Okay.
That's the one taboo that I will
not stand behind.
Yeah, not stand behind, and I try to have an open mind for.
It's a no for me.
It's a no. It's a no. When it comes to young kids,
innocence,
you don't mess with that.
Like I said, they haven't even hit puberty. The balls haven't even dropped. They haven't even started their period.
Yes, exactly. Like they're still in the young stage.
Okay, in my opinion, I think 17 and under is 18.
There's 18 and under is
like, I don't know.
It's still young.
Off limits. It needs to be off limits.
Absolutely.
Save the children, bro. I swear. Hashtag. It's still very much thing.
That's why it's like we need to, like, I know we talk about it more, like, people are aware of it, but there's not conversations as like for real, like, we need to end this. Like, I always see people post on Facebook, like, because I think recently there was like a 13-year-old girl in Thailand, and she got married to like a really old man, and people were like, oh my god, that's like horrible. But it's like, babes, your dad literally did the same thing.
Yes.
Well, you know what I mean? Like you're talking about like, like oh my god, this little girl, but it's like, dude, your dad literally married.
I did see this little boy who had to go marry an old girl.
That's disgusting.
And then there was a girl sharing it saying like, whoever is sharing this, please take it down. This is my cousin, and you guys don't need to be sharing this. Oh, don't be worried about the people sharing it, babe. Be worried about your family trying to force that little boy to get married off. Like, I know she was like commenting on people's stuff, like, stop sharing this about my little cousin. Stop sharing. Don't be worried about that. Be worried about him. The video of him crying because he doesn't want to leave.
Oh,
the little chubby boy.
Are you serious?
Yes,
girl. He's not little.
I mean, but he was like 12 or 13.
No, he's not.
Yes, he was marrying the older lady.
Are you talking about the one that they were in like in the hotel room?
No, not that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was like, that one, he's older.
No, this is the one where he was like literally crying and like begging his parents, like, don't let me, like, I don't want to marry this person. I'm not old enough yet. And they're like, no, go marry her. And it was an older lady, like an older lady, and he was like crying and begging.
Yeah. In my perspective, I mean, I'm not a mom, but you guys are moms. Like you said earlier, like it's like marrying your own son. Like, how do you even see that as the husband material? Like,
the cops need to be called. FBI.
Yeah, not to shit on the Hmong community, but like this is just the shit that does like. It's just like
it's stuff
it's just a thing.
It's stuff that's swept under the rug.
You notice to be called out.
You notice the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
we got so many elephants in the motherfucking room that is so fucking crowded.
That is crowded.
Like crowded, and I love that what we're doing is we're really calling the elephant out.
We are, and I don't give a fuck who the fuck's like.
We're letting
y'all need to be careful what y'all say.
I don't give a fuck, bitch. With the what is it? Which amendment?
Call the cops.
I don't even know which amendment.
Like, freedom of speech, like the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
First Amendment.
All I'm saying is that I don't care who's like, ooh, y'all need to be careful what y'all talk about. baby, I don't care. We are standing up for what's right. We are
Also-
calling it out.
Also,
Like,
the people like you that are like, oh, you need to be careful. You're the
You're
reason.
the problem.
you're
You are the
enabling.
reason. You are the enabler. You're the
Yup.
reason.
Enabler.
People that don't agree with us, that think that, you know,
That think it's okay to do that.
pedophilia is okay.
Pedophilia is not
you
okay,
need to
bro.
fucking
It's
go get
not
checked
okay.
out.
It is
because that is
not
not okay.
Matter of fact,
And if
add
you
yourself
think,
onto the list.
and if you think that your dad or your uncle or your grandpa marrying a girl from Thailand or Laos is not
cool.
not pedophilia,
Remember
baby, you need to go check into a mental
the,
institution because that's exactly what it is.
the one thing we were talking about, the Mean Girls. The quote: there are two types of evil.
Yes.
There's two types of evil in this world. Okay,
Yes.
there are people who do
evil things and people who see evil things and do nothing about it.
Yes.
being done. And don't say
Period.
anything about it.
And that's a motherfucking truth.
And that's on what? Janice Ian.
Like,
Janice Ian from Mean Girls.
I know for us three personally, we don't know anyone who in
yeah,
our
I know.
lives immediately that has done that, because
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I would not allow it.
I would not. I would shit on that person till the day they die.
Embarrass the fuck out of them. Like, I don't give a
would
fuck.
cut them out of my life because that's fucking. You know
But
what it
I
is?
know that
Disgusting.
I know that there's plenty of y'all out there, even the people that are listening, you know of someone within your family
That
or
has done
that is married to someone in your family that
Yes.
has done that. And if you don't call that shit out, you are
You're-
enabling it to
I-
let it
You're
happen.
part of the problem.
Like, at least call it out. I mean, I know it's out of your control, obviously, you know,
Yeah,
but
but
at least call them out.
call them out. Make
and
you feel
them
uncomfortable.
Make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Make them known that it is not okay.
Yeah,
it's not.
Especially if it's like
Yeah.
a young kid.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
No, I don't even want to think about it. It makes me cringe. Like, it's fucking disgusting. Like, it is what it is. It's fucking pedophilia. You're a fucking pedophile.
yeah, it's
You can't get no
nasty.
one here, so you gotta go over there and grab some little 13-year-old. No.
Didn't even start her period.
No, even an old lady going to get a 13-year-old boy. That's
Balls
fucked up.
didn't
That's
drop.
fucking
That's
disgusting.
Oh God.
Okay, and people
then
that
you know.
allow that shit to happen, y'all just
Jail.
as fucking bad.
Literally just as bad. You are the problem. So I know that was a very, very.
I mean, heavy, but I'm sorry, but it needs to be fucking
heated, and
talked
heavy,
about.
But it's true, you know, and this is why we love to just talk. Like this
Yes,
is our
like-
platform to just talk.
If
and
you
say
feel
what we want.
offended, maybe you need to
Maybe you
reevaluate.
need to reevaluate why
Do
you feel
some-
offended.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why it is offending you.
Exactly.
Or if you want, you can silently reshare this to somebody that you want to.
Ooh,
you
So
know.
yes.
subliminal share on your
Subliminally
Facebook
share, you
so they
know.
can see it.
But there is a lot of taboos in our
Yes.
community, you know,
So many.
whether you like it or not, there is,
Yes.
and everybody knows about it, which, like Tiana said, it's the elephant in the room. Everybody knows about all these taboos.
And no one
but
would just address it.
No one addresses it, and like it's kind of sad, but you know what, times have changed, and a lot of people nowadays
Yes.
are moving forward with being
Yep.
open about it. So that is one thing that I'm very proud about like our generation,
Yes.
is
Yes.
that we are trying to break the
We are being loud. We don't
we're
give
being
a
loud,
fuck.
and we're trying to break the traditional and trauma bonds and all the generational traumas, cycles, and all of that. So I am very proud of that.
Yes,
That we
absolutely.
are
we are
stepping up.
changing the future, y'all.
Period.
And I don't care who gets offended.
Yes.
As always, thank you guys so much.
Wait, let's start that as always because we say it together.
As always, we upload a new episode every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find us at 116th Hotline on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Yes, she got it all.
Yes, I got it all, baby. And make sure you like and subscribe our video on Facebook. Give us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Let us know how you liked the episode. If you
Yes.
didn't like the episode, listen to our previous episodes. Let us know what you thought about those. And
Thank
as
you so
always,
much. And the best thing you guys can do for us is share.
Share.
Yep.
Sharing, I think, word of mouth about our podcast. I love hearing from
Feedback.
other people that like, oh, I listened to your
Yes.
podcast, or I enjoyed this. I love hearing that. We love hearing that. So just sharing and word of mouth really means a lot to us.
And any feedback that you guys have, whether you liked it or
Whether
not,
it's bad or good feedback, we'll take
We'll
it
take
all.
it all, yes.
We'll take
you
it
know,
all.
and that's the beauty of putting your opinion out there, is some people like it, some people
people
don't. But you know, we resonate with any and all feedback.
Right.
So let us know if you liked it, if you didn't, and what your favorite part was.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned for next week. Bye.
Bye.